Okay, so they might have actually just done it, and it couldn't have come at a better time. I was actually on my way out to shoot with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro and actually test it up against this camera that I'm actually filming with right now, which is the Sony FX3. And Blackmagic just announced a massive update to this camera and might have just fixed all the problems. What's good, creative fan? Brandon Washington here, and if you've seen my other Blackmagic 6K Pro videos, you'll know that this is a fantastic camera that came with a lot of really unforeseen but really problemsome issues right out of the box. I mean, there's pretty much not a video out on the 6K Pro that didn't address some of these issues, whether that was with the blue tint screen issue that people were having, problems with just calibration on other things, as well as like NDs having color shifts or appearing to have color shifts, as well as issues with like built-in LUTs and applying new LUTs to the camera. I mean, the list just went on and on and on. Now, a lot of us still was able to make this camera work because, well, quite frankly, the image that you get out of the camera is fine, but it's hard to trust the screen itself. So Blackmagic has announced an entire update, and we're gonna go through what these updates are, then we're gonna install it on this camera, and then we're gonna see if they actually fixed all the issues. Now, to ensure that I get all of this right, because I mean, there's a lot of updates here, I'm gonna just quickly read off some of these updates on my phone here. So first, the biggest one, with the 6K Pro, this software update should be able to fix the calibration issue on the LCD screen. Now, personally, I'm really excited to see how this actually works out, because there have been so many times where this camera has shown up extra blue and it's been really hard in order for me to dial in my white balance. And quite honestly, I don't always shoot this camera in RAW. I actually love shooting it in ProRes, and not being able to know if my white balance is perfectly spot on is such a drain. So I hope that this update actually fixes this issue. But they didn't just try to fix issues. They also added quite a few new features to the 6K, 4K, and the 6K Pro. So first, they updated the luminance histogram to an RGB histogram, and they're actually gonna have clipping indicators for the different color channels. Now, Red actually has this on the Red Komodo and really on all their Reds, and I personally love it. It's the easiest way to know if your camera is overexposing or underexposing any part of the frame. And so if this camera works the same way as the Red Komodo does, when this is all said and done, when it comes to getting proper exposure, it's gonna be 10 times easier. The next big thing that they added on here is false color guides. So this thing has had false color, and all of them have had false color, but now you actually have guides so you can actually see where your false color is actually falling, and it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to use false color when getting proper exposure. The next big update that they added was they improved the autofocus with active lens control. So, I mean, nobody really thinks that the Blackmagics have really great autofocus anyway, but it's nice to see that they're trying to at least address this issue in this update. I mean, why not? You're rolling out a big update anyway, throw it in there. They also improved the focus peaking visibility, and then probably one of my favorite ones, and one of the ones that I didn't realize was like an issue. I thought it was just a problem with the LUTs I was creating, but they actually fixed the issue with importing LUTs and presets. Now, I personally thought this was like a problem with the LUTs that I was making, and I have a LUT that I use on my Blackmagic, and I try to use it on all my Blackmagics, and I kept having issues with importing this LUT, and so I went in and tried to create the LUT multiple different ways, but it turns out that it was an actual problem with the camera itself, so that's a little bit of a relief. But now they fixed that issue, so these are all the things that we'll be looking at after I do this software update. Now, real quick, because there's actually one other really cool feature when it comes to the 6K Pro that I think really now actually makes this camera stand out as a pro camera. But as a lot of you guys know, on the Pro, there are 2 mini XLR inputs. And for a lot of people, they say, you know, I only run one audio port. Why do I need 2 mini XLR inputs? Well, now Blackmagic has made some really good use out of that second XLR input. Now it can actually receive time code. So a lot of cinematographers, professional videographers say that a camera cannot be considered cinema if it doesn't have time code in it, built in, or even some type of time code syncing options. And so it is nice to know that the 6K Pro does give you some time code options, where other cinema cameras like this FX3 actually don't even give you that. So let's go ahead and do the update. Let's see how it's rocking. Let's see how it works. And then I'll touch base with you guys after we're done. Okay, so the entire update process on this camera was actually super easy. It only took a couple seconds. I just went to their website, downloaded the update. You literally plug in your camera directly to your computer via USB. So I just used the USB-C to USB-C cable to go into my MacBook. And just for anybody who is wondering, this did work with the M1 MacBook because that's actually the one that I've been using. And the update took just a matter of maybe 2 or 3 minutes and it was working no problems. So now what I'm going to do is go out, film with this thing, show you guys a couple of the updates, show you how they actually fixed the screen issue and actually fixed a couple other issues. And then I'll tell you guys my final thoughts. Okay, so my initial thoughts after kind of going through some of the menus and testing it out is that the updates are fantastic. I think probably my favorite one is the new histogram. Now that you actually have an RGB histogram, you can see exactly which of your channels are overexposing. Now, unlike on the red, it does not actually show you if your shadows are clipping as well, but at least it allows you to see where your highlights are. So you can kind of basically push your exposure to your highlights start to clip and then basically just throttle down. That, with the help of the built-in ND filters, really makes a big difference. Also, I was really surprised with how they went about the whole LCD calibration, and honestly, it might just be the best option. It seems like it just literally has to do with just adjusting the screen to your own personal eye. So you literally go into the calibration settings and then they give you a medium gray look and then a white card, and basically you adjust your temp and your temperature based off of what you think looks good for your display. And then also, as you can see here, they did add in another calibration, which they call their motion calibration. And it does warn you that you need to have your camera locked down so that way it's not moving. But I literally have mine locked down on this tripod, not moving, and it failed the calibration test 3 times. So I haven't been able to really test that out. Hopefully I'll get some more information. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but I'm actually unable to test that feature right now, or at least I've tested it and it fails. Now also, when it came to the update on the false color on this guy, I actually found that that worked out really well too. Now having that nice indicator on the side so that way you can actually see what your false color really means. I think for a lot of people who've never used false color, one, this will make it easier to use it in order to get proper exposure. Now you'll be able to use false color to properly correct your exposure values. So it is a nice little additional add-on. I don't know how many people are really going to use it, because personally I still think my favorite way to now actually handle exposure on this camera is using those tally lights in order to see if a certain area or a certain portion of my frame is completely overexposed. But I do appreciate the addition added to the false color. So when it comes to my initial kind of opinions, personally I think this is actually a pretty solid update to this camera. Now, granted, I do need to go out and actually shoot some more content with it. I just wanted to get this video out there for those of you guys who have a 6K Pro to, one, inform you that this update is out there and that now I do actually recommend downloading it. Also, for anybody else who has a 6K Pro and is thinking about doing this update, I do think that now that you have those tally lights, you have all the updates to false color, the ability to now run timecode directly into the camera via the mini XLRs, I think that this is actually a pretty decent update. Now I actually am ready to do a full review on the 6K Pro. So definitely be sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video. But also, as I already mentioned, and I'm actually planning on doing right this moment, I'm about to take out this camera, the FX3, put it up side by side with the 6K Pro. And now that the 6K Pro has all these new updates, I think this kind of test, this little back and forth between these two cameras is actually going to be a lot closer than most people think. But let me know what you guys think of this update. Let me know if you're going to wait and do your update later. Are you going to wait to see if there's any more bugs or any more issues? I don't mind being the guinea pig, but let me know any questions you guys have about this down below in the description. This video was a little bit more of an impromptu, so we will be announcing the winner of the wireless transmitter giveaway in the next video, the Axon CineEyes S2. So make sure that if you guys want a chance to win that wireless transmitter, you go check out that video linked up below. But thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.